Hello and welcome to the Potty Mouth Preacher, transforming women's minds, bodies, and souls one trigger at a time. I am Lisa Czak, your host. Today I am giving you the best gift, the most important gift probably you'll ever receive that is actually going to save your life. And if you teach this to your daughters, it will save their life too. So stay tuned. As always, we're going to start off by helping you switch gears. It's the holiday season. I know you're rushing. So give yourself the gift of allowing yourself to be present in this space right here, right now. Close your eyes if you're able to. Give me 3 deep cleansing breaths in. Really exhaling out. You see how I hold the breath as long as I can, exhale it out as long as I can. Do that 3 times and pretend like your device has a trap door on the back of it and you are releasing all of your roles and responsibilities that you're happy to play, but sometimes you just want to be you, right? You just want some time to yourself. This is it. So open that trap door on the outside of your phone or your computer or your iPad and exhale out all your roles and responsibilities as wife, mother, daughter, granddaughter, employee, employer, entrepreneur, healer, coach, student, stay-at-home mom. Just with each exhale, leave it on the outside of the device. You get to be you in here. And I know you got things weighing heavy on your heart. I know it. That's why you're watching me. I'm assuming you're not listening in on to me because life is puppy dogs and rainbows right now. So with each exhale, exhaling out all your doubt, anxiety, fear, disappointment, sadness, anger, shame. Leave it on the outside of this device. You're not going to need it in here. And while we're at it, get rid of all of those thoughts that you know aren't serving you. All the woulda, coulda, shouldas, all the ways you are berating yourself, beating yourself up every night. Leave those on the outside of this device and give me 3 more deep cleansing breaths in. 2 more, just like that. And 1 last one. And let's move on to celebrations. Celebrations are those seemingly insignificant steps that you are taking every single day, the small choices that you are making that are leading to growth in you, to maturity in you, that are leading you one step closer to God instead of one step further away from God. All those seemingly little things that you might not be noticing, right? Because you're so focused on the outcome. You're so attached to whatever it is the outcome is in your life right now, right? I gotta lose 30 pounds before the holiday party. I have got to fix my relationship with my family before Christmas hits. I have got to make more money, whatever it is, right? You're so focused on the outcome. You're so attached to the outcome, you're not even noticing all of the little steps you're taking along the way on your journey, which are even more important than getting to your destination. When I ran my first half marathon at age 48, I wasn't afraid of getting to the finish line. right? I was more afraid that my ass wasn't going to get to the starting line. It's much harder to get to the starting line. You got to start somewhere though. So I knew once I started, I'd finish. So don't worry so much about the finish line, which is really death. That's really the finish line, right? Instead, focus on celebrating every step you take, which is evidence that you are being the woman that God created you to be, right? No more waking up wanting and pining. Go back and listen to my very beginning episodes where I talk about claiming your I am. There is no reason why you can't be the woman you want to be right here and now. You don't have to wait. Waking up pining, I just wish this. I just wish I could find the man of my dreams. I just wish I could change my husband's toxic behavior. I just wish that I could be closer to my mom. I just wish fill in the blank, right? Or I'll be happy when. No more of that. Be the woman that God created you to be right here, right now. I am celebrating something. If you listen to my past episodes, you'll hear me talk about how I used to be a gym class loser, right? Put in comments if you feel me on this. Are you one of the women like me, right? In school, whenever they said, okay, let's get into 2 teams, nobody wanted you on your team, right? They always put the mean girl. Why did they always put the mean girl in charge of picking the people for the teams, right? The mean girl, right? The jock that looked like she should have been a quarterback on the football team ends up being the one that picks all of the people to be on her team. And she hates the non-jock people, the non-athletic people. Well, that was me, not the mean girl. I was the one that was standing there. And it was always like this, oh, fine, I guess I'll take Lisa, right? Like that was the attitude. So I had this tape in my head for years, until I was in my 40s, I'm not even kidding you, that I didn't have an athletic bone in my body. And then I lost 80 pounds. It's all in the book, Portal Tears, Drowning the Demons Beneath the Fat to Keep the Weight from Coming Back. Steve put up a link there for them to purchase the book so you can read my story of how I got into the best shape of my life, how I actually found my inner athlete when I lost 80 pounds. And I was shocked, right? Because when I first started, I couldn't even do 1 sit-up. I'm not kidding you. I literally couldn't do a sit-up. I couldn't do a push-up. We know that, right? That's still hard for me. But I can do them now. Anyway, so if this describes you, drop in comments and read my book. So I always had this idea that I was this gym class loser. And then even after I lost the 80 pounds, right, the gym that I lost all my weight in, the guys that own the gym asked me to become a trainer at the gym. Again, it's all in the book. This is a fascinating story in Portal Tears, right? This is, a lot of people, this is their favorite part of the story. So in order to do this, I had to study for the personal training exam. And the one owner at the gym where I was going to be working at kept telling me, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. I grew up in a gym environment and I barely passed this. So you're going to fail. And he would constantly question me, like throw questions at me, throw all the anatomy. I had a lot of trouble with the anatomy part, right? And so he would constantly, as I was interning to become a trainer, he was always firing questions at me, and I started sweating and my heart would start racing. And I just kept thinking, oh my God, I can't fail this. I can't fail this test, because I gave up my job as being a kindergarten teacher, which had security. I had the same hours as my daughter. I had the same vacations as her. I had guaranteed pay, health insurance, all that. I gave up that to be a personal trainer for these guys who were doing a startup program, a 6-week, 20-pound challenge. So all I kept thinking was, I can't fail this, right? Really, I was afraid if I failed it, how I was going to feel. I was going to feel like a failure. And that meant that the owner of this gym, my new boss, was right? I'm not going to pass it. So I was scared to death. But I told myself, I'm going to get a 95 on this. I didn't tell him or anybody else that. That was between me and God. And wouldn't you know it, actually got a 97 on it, right? Again, it's all in Portal Tears if you want to read about that. And fast forward, right? I went from being scared to death to take that I was going to fail that test, feeling like a gym class loser. How am I ever going to pass that test, right? I got certified, became a certified trainer. And fast forward to today, guess what? I am now a subject matter expert for the National Federation of Personal Trainers. I still can't believe it, right? That means I do talks now all over talking about my subject matter expertise in personal training. This is the part that I'm celebrating even more though than being that. This year, I got to be involved on the board because I sit now on the fitness advisory board for the National Federation of Personal Trainers. I got to help write the same personal training certification exam that I was scared to death of failing and taking. The same test that owner told me I was going to fail. I'm now writing! So that is my celebration. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, review, all the things. I want to hear from you. I want to know that I want to know somebody out there is listening and implementing the soul work that I give you. So drop in comments right here, right now. Give me some fire in comments. Say, I'm listening, Lisa. Drop it right now. And we're going to move on to real talk. Okay, so on today's episode, I am giving you a secret weapon that is going to save your life. And I want your daughters to watch this also because it's going to save their life. And if your daughters are little or young, you're just going to implement what I'm saying to save their life. As I just talked about, you know that I lost 80 pounds. I got into the best shape of my life. I became a personal trainer, right? You see right there, Portal Tears. Drowning the demons beneath the fat to keep the weight from coming back. Again, Steve put it up on the screen so they can purchase this book. And in case you don't know who I'm talking to, it's not my imaginary friend Steve. Steve Demetrius from Audiobook Masters is the one who produces my podcast, so I don't have to do all the tech stuff that I hate doing. Anyway, I got into the best shape of my life and then was groomed by a sexual predator. And they are out there lurking everywhere, right? Especially online. This predator groomed me, by the way, all in text, all with words. Yeah. So that's why it's important that especially your daughters watch also. I was older when this happened. This didn't happen to me when I was young, right? This happened to me in my 40s after I got in the best shape of my life. So why did that happen to me, right? You see what I do for a living, right? I'm all about women's empowerment. I'm all about healing. And how is it after I got in the best shape of my life, I was groomed by a sexual predator? How did that happen? People ask me that all the time. Now, I wasn't doing all the work that I'm doing now, like internally, right? I was a personal trainer focused, and I was focused on the outside. And what happens is, I'm going to give you an example with younger kids, okay? Younger girls. So a sex trafficker, which by the way, they're very charming. They look like they are really nice dads, husbands, right? They're not the boogeyman like you think they are. So they might be at a playground, right? A sexual predator is at a playground. Again, get this vision out of your head that the sexual predator that's coming that, is lurking out there, looks disgusting and fat and sweaty with greasy hair. And he looks, like he's lived in a basement his whole life. No, this guy's charming with a nice smile, nice clothes. His hair is nice. He's very charming. Everyone loves him, right? He's a woman's advocate. This is who the sexual predator is. Okay, we're no longer in the 80s where it was the van, right? It was the boogeyman that pulled you into a white van, pulled kids into white vans, or pulled women into white vans and drove off with them. That's old school sexual predation. New school is what I'm describing right now. So a sexual predator is scanning the playground where all the kids are playing, right? I don't care what age, it doesn't matter. And who is the one that he's going to target? The girl that's probably me, basically. Me as a kid. The girl that's sitting all alone, shoulders slumped, head looking down, looks kind of sad, not confident at all, right? She screams out with no confidence in her. He goes up to her and he gives her a compliment. Why is such a beautiful girl like you standing here all alone? Suddenly, her eyes light up. Her face lights up. Someone is giving her attention. Someone is acknowledging her beauty. Someone is noticing that she's alone, noticing her pain, her loneliness. There you go. She's about to get sex trafficked. That's how it happens. Now, is he going to pull her into a white van? And no, he's not going to do any of that. No, maybe he'll keep showing up. Hey, give me your number. Give me your, most likely is, give me, what's your handle? What do they call it? Handle on Instagram. Let's Snapchat, right? TikTok. It's going to be one of those avenues, not just, your phone number. And then they start talking and he lifts her up and he tells her over and over again how beautiful she is and how sad it is that no one sees this beauty. And it must be really hard being lonely and feeling sad, right? He found an opening. Now listen to me. Come closer. If you don't hear anything else, in order to protect your daughters, I want you to hear this. I don't want the first time your daughter hears, "You're so beautiful," to be from a sexual predator, a sex trafficker. So what are you going to do? How are you going to prevent this? Now, this is also true. This isn't just true for kids, right? I'm going to give my own example. People get confused. What do you mean you lacked self-esteem, Lisa? You were in the best shape of your life. I mean, I had a rockin' body, right? I don't have that body currently because I know inside is more important, right? You see that picture there? That was me, like all fluffy. And that girl right there with the heels and the red dress, that was me. Okay, it was all outward appearance. Yet, when I looked in the mirror, I'm gonna bring this for a visual. So you see, this was me, right? At 226 pounds. Then I lost 80 pounds. That was me. I got in the best shape of my life. Now look at her. She looks confident on the outside, right? Just the outside looks totally confident. Like, look at this girl. She's cute and she's swinging around her red dress and she's got the heels on. But notice she's looking in the mirror and still seeing this. This was me. In 2015, this was me. looking like this on the outside, still feeling like this on the inside, which left that opening for that sexual predator to come in. He knew, even though I look like this is great, right? To sexually exploit this, right? Yeah. Do videos that she never consented to do. Put them up on porn sites. Do this to this woman, right? Look at her. Why? Because she still felt like this inside. So the outside, right? He kept noticing the outside, which validated this girl who I still was on the inside. Even my own trainer noticed this after I lost the 80 pounds. And he said to me, the one day he had me run around the building, right? He loved doing that shit. So I was running around the building and all of a sudden he said, "Stop!" I was like, "Stop running? Okay, you don't have to tell me twice, right? I'll stop running any time of the day." And I said, "Why? I thought you wanted me to run around the whole building. I'm not done yet." And he said, "Stop running like you still weigh 226 pounds. Run like the athlete you are. Run as though you are the weight you are now. Run as though you weigh 150 pounds. Now, I didn't know that. That's in the book also, but I didn't know that. I didn't realize that back then, I was also carrying that into my life, right? If he noticed it when I was running, then a sexual predator definitely noticed it. Like, look at her. She looks amazing on the outside, but inside, she's still 226-pound Lisa. So she's perfect for exploiting. Now, what could I have done differently? Well, back then, I was so far away from God, right? I just was. Like, I was all about the outside. Now, I'm going to read you. I don't normally do this, but I feel very called to do this. I'm going to read you. There's actual scriptures in the Bible that talk about grooming. Now, Jesus and God don't use the word grooming, right? That's a new term that we've come up with. Grooming, love bombing. It's in there though. I've looked for it, right? I've looked to see, is this like even a real thing? Is this just something the world has made up? Our imaginations have made it up? Or is this, what's the truth? When I want to know the truth, if you want to know the truth, go to the Bible. God is always telling us the truth. So I'm going to read this. Proverbs 31:30. Charm is deceptive. Remember I told you? The predators are charming. God is warning us. Charm is deceptive. Predators are not the boogeyman, the scary man, right? They are charming. Charm is deceptive. And beauty is fleeting. Much like the outward beauty I had, right? Wearing that red dress, best shape of my life, rockin' body, right? It's fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to sit around and, live in the state of fear, tell your daughters to be afraid of fear, right? But you are sharing with your daughters. You are also telling yourself that charm is deceptive. Be careful, right? Beauty is fleeting. So if you're like me, maybe you are in great shape, but there's this crack in your foundation. Like for me, it was my marriage was crumbling. Financial problems that I didn't even know about were going on, right? All this stuff I discovered. There was those two openings that he had. The marriage was crumbling, the financial issues, those were the circumstances. And then internally, right? Internally, I was still 226-pound Lisa. And externally, well, that's could be fleeting, right? What I just said, the beauty is fleeting. If I had kept my eyes on Jesus and what he says about my body, about my beauty and where it comes from, I would not have been deceived by that sexual predator's charm. And this is what I want you to teach your daughters and teach yourself also. Are you getting more and more anxious and sad and disappointed as the holidays approach? Maybe you're dealing with toxic family members, an ex-husband. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're going through grief this holiday season. If any of these things resonate with you and you want to stop emotionally reacting, especially as the holidays approach, and you want to learn to actually become crystal clear on what it's like to live your life, not emotional reacting, instead responding. If you want to uncover ways you might be sabotaging yourself as the holidays approach, and if you want to just feel at peace no matter what is going on in your life, no matter who is in your space this holiday season, then click the link below and join me and other women who are on this same healing journey this holiday season to stop reacting so that we don't look like the crazy one anymore, right? And instead, we feel peace no matter what's going on in our life. We don't allow our feelings to take over. We learn that the storm doesn't have to be inside of us. The storm can be around us, but the storm doesn't have to be inside of us. We meet twice a month, and I'm having a holiday special because this is my gift to you so that you can actually, instead of surviving the holidays, start enjoying the holidays. It's only $49 to meet twice a month, and we start right away. That $49 is going to take you all the way to the beginning of the year. $49 to have peace in your life this holiday season. Merry Christmas, ho ho ho, and remember, you are worth it. So what is beauty? Okay? What does God say beauty is? What is it? What are you going to tell your daughters? So this is interesting. Even though this happened to me, I was teaching my daughter something that I wasn't even living myself. And I know that was God, right? God working through me. So there's this, I forget the name of the company now, but they sell socks. I am socks, which you know I love, right? Because I love the I am statements. I built a whole business on it. And so I bought her one pair of socks that said, I am beautiful, another one that says, I am smart. And I put them together. So she got a pair of socks. One foot said, I am smart. The other one said, I am beautiful. And I taught her when she was young, when people say to her, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty, right? We'd like to focus on the outward appearance of our daughters, that she would say, and I'm also smart. Now, no sexual predator's coming anywhere near a kid, right? If a sex predator came up to her and said, you're so beautiful, she'd say, I'm smart too. He would walk away. He wouldn't want to have anything to do with her. Because not only did she understand her beauty was on the outside, she also knew she was smart, meaning she knew her beauty and her worth inside. So we have to teach our daughters and know for ourselves our beauty is inside and out. It's no coincidence that I have a healing group called Worthy Woman Healing. It's no coincidence that my daughter and I run mother-daughter retreats, Worthy Woman Healing Retreats. Steve, click the link up there if you want to join us on our 2024 Worthy Woman Healing Retreat. We're going to talk all about this. Bring your daughter. Bring your best friend, bring your mom, bring your aunt, bring your sister. I am starting a whole mission, an army to raise self-esteem, to raise confidence, which is our number one weapon against sexual predators, against sexual exploitation. It is the number one weapon and the number one deterrent to save your life and your daughter's life. And we're going to be teaching all these techniques on the retreat in 2024. Okay. So God even says, right? I'm going to read this. I'm looking to see. I think this is Peter 3:3. Your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Our daughters and us are inundated from social media, right? Oh, you should wear this brand of clothing and, this and your makeup and your hair. Now, that's not to say that it's not okay to feel pretty and feel beautiful and, do your hair and wear clothes that make you feel nice, right? It's just you don't want to rely on that. That doesn't make you beautiful. You're beautiful because God says you're beautiful. Okay? So God says, rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. Now, I am not gentle or quiet, so I don't think he's commanding us to be quiet or even gentle, right? He's just saying that it's the peace in knowing that because you're a daughter of God, that automatically makes you beautiful on the inside. If you feel beautiful on the inside, it will show on the outside. I'm not in the best shape of my life anymore. I'm not, and I'm okay with that, right? I don't weigh 226 pounds anymore. I don't even remember what I weigh because I don't really focus on that. But the point is that even though I'm not in the best shape of my life, right? Even though I might be a little fluffier than I want to be right now, and I'm working on my health and fitness goals, people say to me all the time, you are glowing. How is it you're glowing? You look so glowy. You just look balanced in your life. You look so balanced, Lisa. Or it's no longer the compliments I was getting when I was in the best shape of my life. Oh my gosh, look at you. You're a size 2, right? I'm a size 12, sometimes 14, maybe a 10 if I suck my stomach in. And that's okay because I know my beauty where it comes from. It comes from God himself who's told me that, right? So, next, let your true beauty come from your inner personality, not a focus on the external. So it's your personality shining through. That's what self-esteem and confidence are, right? Your personality are shining through. Like I said, even though I was in the best shape of my life in that one picture, I was still acting like the girl in the mirror, the chubby girl in the mirror. And that's why that sexual predator zoned right in on me. You see why? So, for lasting beauty comes from a gentle and peaceful spirit. I'm still working on being gentle. And I literally teach you the peace process. Go back in my former episodes to learn how to have peace in your spirit, which is precious in God's sight and is much more important than the outward adornment of elaborate hair, jewelry, fine clothes, and your body. He says it right there. Don't try to make yourselves beautiful on the outside with stylish hair by wearing gold jewelry or fine clothes. Instead, make yourselves beautiful on the inside in your hearts with the enduring quality of a peaceful spirit. This type of beauty is very precious in God's eyes, Peter 3:3-4. So that is why I have now combined, right? I still help women who want to physically take care of their body, right? I also know it's more important to have peace inside your soul, which is why I teach the peace process, which is that healing certification I became certified in. Because I know if you have that inner peace, if your spirit has that peace, and we teach our daughters how to have that peace, if we have that peace and lead by example for them, self-confidence and self-esteem come shining through and saves your life, saves your daughter's life. This is all stuff we're going to be doing on Worthy Woman Healing Retreat. Again, Steve, put the link up again. You need to hurry though, because registration is closing for this retreat in 2024. And so I got to sign you up right here, right now. Imagine a group of women coming together and lifting each other up, telling the truth about beauty, telling the truth about what God says about us as women, about us being beautiful inside and out. Imagine doing that all together in this safe little bubble in the Caribbean, being doted on, right? No housework, no distractions, just us and God and the beautiful Caribbean Sea, a chef cooking, whatever you want, whatever kind of, I've had women ask me, I'm vegetarian, I'm vegan. We got all that, okay? We have a professional chef cooking, tailoring to our needs for 4 nights and 5 days. So you don't want to miss out on that. Okay, so this is another one. If you're questioning your beauty, you are altogether beautiful, my darling. There's no flaw in you, and your fame spread among the nations an account of your beauty, because the splendor I had given you made your beauty perfect, declares our sovereign Lord. Okay, so this is interesting. That sexual predator that I told you about, he was the devil himself. Evil, right? I didn't know it at the time. Why would I carry on a relationship with someone who was evil? I didn't know it. I also didn't, because I didn't know the Bible back then. I didn't know that he was using scripture from the Bible to groom me. Yes, he said that exact thing. You're altogether beautiful, my darling. There's no flaw in you. He would say things like that, which is how he hooked me in, because I was craving that love and attention and adoration and looking for it in all the wrong places. You know that song? Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love. That was me. I was looking for love in the wrong place. I didn't realize that the Bible is an actual love letter from God and Jesus directly to me. Anytime I need words of affirmation, that's where I go now. It is the most beautiful love letter that will ever be written to you. No human man will ever compare to the love letter that God and Jesus wrote for you. They wrote it for you, woman. Are you going to believe them? God doesn't just want us to believe in him. He wants us to believe him. Okay, here is another one. Strength and honor are her clothing. She is confident about the future. You see how that's Proverbs 31:25. God is telling us when you have strength and you have honor inside of you, you have confidence. No one's going to touch you. So instead of worrying about what kind of clothes you're wearing, or if you have, the latest fashion, and maybe our girls, get wrapped up in that, it's like, let's focus more on, are they clothed in strength and dignity and honor? Because that is where their confidence will come from, not from Michael Kors, or I don't even know, because I don't wear designer clothes. So wherever they think they're going to get their strength and dignity and honor from, it's not from a store. You can't buy strength, dignity, and honor from a fucking store. Okay, let's move on. Lastly, I want to talk about I told you that low self-esteem is how predators are going to prey upon us as women, how they're going to prey upon our daughters, right? I told you that. But it's not the word of Lisa, okay? It's not just me making shit up. God actually has this in the Bible. I search for this stuff. This is my passion now, okay? If I want to know the truth, I go to the Bible. I'm going to say that over and over again. If you want to know the truth, go to the Bible. God will tell you the truth. So, this is what happens. Now, this is a guy, but, it could be anyone. So, Saul had low self-esteem, yet he was not humble. In fact, his low self-esteem inspired him to exalt himself in a heinous act of disobedience. Because he thought of himself in low terms, he was a people pleaser. That describes me in a nutshell. Drop in comments if you're a people pleaser. Yeah, are you worried? Well, what if he doesn't like me? If I'm mad, I can't tell him because what if he doesn't talk to me again? And I can't say no because what do people think of me? Right? If that sounds like you, I don't want to confront anyone. I'll just go along with it. That was me. I don't people please anymore. I'm over that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So do you notice how he said, so Saul reminds me of me when I got in the best shape of my life and then I got groomed by that sexual predator because I had low self-esteem, but yet I was not humble. I wasn't humble, right? I thought I was all that, rocking my new body, and I still thought it was my temple. I didn't realize it was God's temple. I didn't realize that back then, right? So I was not humble, and my low self-esteem and my rockin' body led me to a heinous act of disobedience, of adultery. That's the truth. And I don't want that to happen to you. Maybe you're unhappy in your marriage. Maybe you're unhappy in your relationship and you're thinking the grass is greener on the other side. I'm going to take my rockin' body and go elsewhere, right? Or maybe you are in an abusive marriage. Maybe you're in a toxic, destructive marriage. Maybe your husband isn't meeting your needs the way you want to. Fill in the blank, right? These are all things that can lead to you being sexually exploited. Same thing is true for your daughters, right? For our daughters. Maybe they have rockin' bodies, right? Maybe they have rockin' bodies with low self-esteem. That's a recipe for disaster. A rockin' body and low self-esteem is going to land you where it landed me and where it landed Saul. So we have to be careful of that, right? Most of the women that come to me have extra fluff on their bodies. However, lately, it's not a coincidence that I'm getting all these new clients in that have perfect bodies and are in narcissistic relationships, had narcissistic relationships, left their husband for a narcissist, fill in the blank, ended up being sexually exploited. I just got done actually healing a woman who was just rescued from sex trafficking and didn't even know that she was being sex trafficked. You don't know it when you're in it. I didn't know I was being sexually exploited. I didn't know I was being sex trafficked. I didn't know I was being abused. I had no idea. And that is the common thread that I see, right? You won't know it when you're in it. How do you stop yourself from even getting into it? All these things I talked about, raising your self-esteem. How do you raise your self-esteem? Know the truth about what God says about what I just said. So this this episode is going much over than what I anticipated. Apparently I have a lot to say on this topic. So I want to leave you with your soul work for you and your daughter. Number one, your soul work. Join us for Worthy Woman Wellness Retreat. Worthy Woman, okay, I've changed the name. Worthy Woman Healing Retreat, because that's what we're doing, is healing your mind, body, and soul one trigger at a time. And bring your daughter, bring your mother, bring your sister, bring your aunt, bring your grandma, because we are going to, it's too much for me to get into it. I've been talking at you for 30 minutes now, right? And there's so many things techniques that I can teach you to help raise your self-esteem, to help raise your daughter's self-esteem. And that's why we need 4 nights and 5 days to do it. I need to give you the secret weapon, which is raising your self-esteem, raising your confidence, raising your daughter's self-esteem and confidence, so that you are immune to being sex trafficked, to being groomed, right? Let's take out the sex trafficking part or the sexual predation part, because most people can't wrap their brains around what that even looks like. Instead, it's, okay, I'm going to be immune to being groomed, right? For any kind of exploitation from anybody. It doesn't even have to be a sexual predator. It could just be in your job, in your life, with your family, with your friends, with your employees, with your employer. Fill in the blank, right? So join us for Worthy Woman Wellness Healing Retreat 2024, where we are going to dive into this more. In the meantime, wash over yourself and your daughter. Men, are you watching this? If your man's not watching him, bring him in real quick. Let him hear this part. Men, it is your job as a husband and a father, especially a husband, both I'd say, to wash over your wife and your daughter with the words of God, telling them the truth of who they really are, seeing them the way God sees them, so that they can see themselves the way God sees them, as beautiful, as more precious than rubies, as wonderfully made, knit together in their, in their mother's womb. All of those scriptures. Wash the women in your life over with those, especially your daughter. You don't want the first time your daughter hears you're beautiful and believes it to be by a sex trafficker or a sex predator. Right? Stay tuned. I got more coming about this. And remember, always, inside out, every cell of your being, you are worth it.